aircraft's fuselage. From behind his plexiglass shield and over the barrel of a single MG-15 machine gun, he could see nothing other than what the Condor had already flown over. The squadron commander assured me that a U-boat returning from patrol spotted at least 100 ships 2 days ago above the Faroe Islands, Lichterman told his crew. The ships were heading north, so they've got to be out here somewhere. Another tedious hour dragged by, the men peering into the night in hopes of spotting the convoy. From his aft-facing station, young Ernst Cussler shouldn't have been the one to spot it, but he did. As the plane canted over, an unnatural glint caught his attention, a flash of white far from the moon's reflection. "Captain!" Cussler cried over the intercom. "Starboard side, bearing about 300. "What did you see?" The primeval thrill of the hunt edged Lichterman's voice. "I'm not sure, sir. Something, a glimmer of some kind." Lichterman and Eberhard strained to see in the darkness where young Cussler had indicated. "I'll be damned," Eberhard mouthed, and then pointed through the windscreen. At first, it was just a large patch of gray on the otherwise dark water, yet as they flew closer, the gray sharpened to become dozens of parallel white lines, as distinct as chalk marks on a blackboard. They were the wakes of an armada of ships, driving eastward as fast as it could. From the Condor's altitude, the ships looked as plodding as elephants traveling in a herd. "There must be 200 ships out there," Eberhard estimated. "Enough to keep their heads fighting for months," the pilot agreed, then shouted to his radio man, Corporal Josef Dietz. "Josef, how's it coming with the radio?" "I have nothing but static." Static was a common enough problem, working this far above the Arctic Circle. Charged particles striking the Earth's magnetic field were driven to ground at the poles and played havoc with the radio's vacuum tubes. "We'll mark our position," Lichterman said, "and radio in a report when we get closer to base. Hey, Ernst, well done. We would have turned away and missed the convoy if it weren't for you." "Thank you, sir." Pride was evident in the boy's response. "I want a better count of the convoy's size and a rough approximation of their speed." "Let's not get so close that those destroyers open up," Eberhard cautioned. He had seen combat firsthand and was flying second stick now because of a piece of shrapnel buried in his thigh, thanks to anti-aircraft fire over London. He recognized the look in Lichterman's eye and the excitement in his voice. "And don't forget the cams." CAMs, or catapult aircraft merchantmen, were the Allies' answer to German aerial reconnaissance. A long rail was mounted over the bows of a freighter, and, with a rocket assist, they could launch a Hawker Sea Hurricane fighter aircraft to shoot down the lumbering Condors or even attack surfaced U-boats. Ernst Cussler was counting rows of ships when winking lights suddenly appeared on the decks of 2 of the destroyers. "Captain!" he cried. "Fire from the convoy!" A perfectly aimed string of 7.7mm machine gun rounds raked the Condor's upper surface, starting at the base of the vertical stabilizer and walking up the entire length of the plane. Dietz, who manned the upper gun platform, was killed before he could get a shot off. Bullets penetrated the cockpit, and, amid the harsh patter of them ricocheting off metallic surfaces and the whistle of wind through rents in the fuselage, Lichterman heard his co-pilot grunt in pain. He looked over to see the front of Eberhard's flight jacket covered in blood. Lichterman mashed the rudder and pressed hard on the yoke to dive away from the Allied aircraft that had come out of nowhere. It was the wrong maneuver. Launched just weeks earlier, the MV Empire McAlpine was a late addition to the convoy. Originally built as a grain carrier, the 8,000-ton vessel had spent 5 months in the Berntisland shipyard having her superstructure replaced by a small control island, 460 feet of runway, and a hangar for 4 fairly swordfish torpedo bombers. She could still haul nearly as much